And for more analysis here, I'm now joined by Swaran Sen in New Delhi. He's a professor of diplomacy and disarmament at Jawaharlal Nehru University Center for International Politics, Organization, and Disarmament. Welcome to our program again, Professor Sen. The U.S. and India announced deals on technology, commerce, and defense cooperation, though the two countries are not exactly formal treaty bond allies. What do you make of all of these agreements?
Thank you. I think this was a long time in the making since your reporter made mention of Russia. For last 20 years, the share of Russia in India's purchase of defense equipment was already reducing from about 67 to 47%. So India was fundamentally diversifying. And indeed, right now, France has suddenly become the more important supplier of defense technologies. So for last year, for example, France had 29% of share of Indian imports on defense equipment compared to United States having around 11%. But of course, overall relationship with United States has been transforming. And given the fact that United States is world's largest exporter of defense equipment and India is the largest importer of defense equipment, there is a certain complementarity in that big ticket that provides India certain leverages in bargaining with United States in technology transfer, co-production, joint research and development. So it's not going to be a simple exercise of importing weapons from United States, but also co-production and joint research and development, even in universities and think tanks and other institutions between two countries. And overall, I think it's not just focus on defense technologies, but as again your reporter mentioned, artificial intelligence, rare earths, semiconductors, whole lot of other sectors of what they call advanced and critical technologies are where in long term India and United States are beginning to find each other attractive partners. But again, it's not going to be only United States, and India would continue to source and engage other major powers as well.
Professor, the transformation of India's relationship with the United States, as you mentioned, I wonder what that transformation looks like in your eyes, because here we have analysts say the U.S. sees India as a credible partner to counter China in the Indo-Pacific region, but India has refused that characterization. Is that part of the transformation you mentioned? And also being a member of the BRICS and SCO and Quad, how does India strike that all-important balance in the region?
I think it's nice that you mentioned that India has refused to toe the line or bandwagon the United States. India's foreign policy, whether it is on China or Indo-Pacific, has been at certain variance with United States. And the biggest example would be Ukraine. India has refused to toe either Russian or American line. And over a period of time, I think both Russia and United States understand that India would be engaging both these countries, but on our own terms, looking at India's national interest as significant barometer as to how relationships have to be built. And the fact that United States is now world's largest economy and India is the fifth largest economy, which is going to be in 5 to 8 years, third largest economy on the planet. And I think that is a mutual attraction. India among G20 is the fastest growing economy. So per dollar returns for any investments that American companies would make into India, make India an attractive destination for them. So even if there are divergences and variance in India's approach to either China or Indo-Pacific, I think American leadership today understands that the bigger picture and the overall package in engaging India is fundamentally beneficial for United States. And that is a reflection of how Indian Prime Minister was received there and how this very large 58 paragraphs of joint statement was issued, which outlines the detail of how these two countries wish to engage each other, what sectors they want to focus on, how they want to take specific initiatives, what are the investments coming, what kind of jobs are being created. So that, I think, joint statement is an excellent document to understand the balance that India has been able to maintain, as you asked me, between various relationships, whether relationship is with China or Russia or with United States.